You know, I mean, the stat came out yesterday. He's been fouled 593 times this year. And you guys can estimate how many of those were hard hits and how many of those were above the shoulders. And for him to retaliate as few times as he has, by the way, not one of those 593 hits, with all of those being, so many of those being above the shoulders and hard, not one has been deemed a flagrant foul. Not one. 593, amazing restraint for those guys to hit him that hard and not go over the line and get a flagrant foul. And he's only retaliated from that, getting no protection from the referees. He's only retaliated from that a handful of times. You mean, you can say he's losing control. I would say just to the opposite. I would say his control is amazing, is amazing. I mean, basically what we're saying, okay, for those of us that work out, go run on the treadmill for 43 or 44 minutes that he plays, and I get to come by 3 times in that 43 minutes and smack you as hard as I want upside the head, and I want you to retaliate less than once out of every 15 days that I do that 3 times. And so the people who say, he's not under control and the whole thing, I think that, while we certainly don't want him to miss any games, I think that that's an incredibly unfair representation. And I would say that virtually everybody, I'm not talking just about basketball players, I'm talking about everybody walking the street would retaliate a lot more often and a lot more violently than he does.
Who ran those numbers? Is that a Charles thing?
No, it was the Elias Sports Bureau.
And
593 fouls and 0 flagrant fouls against him. So not once has there been excessive contact against him. That's really incredible.
Stan, was this part of the case you presented to the NBA?
There's no case to present to the NBA. I mean, they like the way the game's being called.
So nothing's going to really change?
I wouldn't expect it to. It hasn't changed all year. No, I wouldn't expect it to.
I mean, where the fans have paid so much money to come see stars like Dwight Howard, I mean,
you'd have to ask David Stern about that. He obviously thinks it's better that he sits out.
Should there, I don't know if you could speak of this because I've already got hit a couple of times, but is there another way to do this without a suspension?
Again, you'd have to talk to David Stern. He likes the system, and he thinks that that Dwight should sit out tonight and that the 20,000 people shouldn't get to see him. I mean, it's his call. I mean, he likes the system.
Because obviously if you get into a fight, you're suspended. I mean, this is not exactly a retaliation in that regard.
No, not at all. Dwight hasn't been in anything even near a fight. But again, this is the system. David Stern and his minions like it, and so that's the system you have. I can't answer that. I mean, and I certainly can't have an opinion because David Stern, like a lot of leaders we've seen in this world lately, don't really tolerate other people's opinions or free speech or anything. So I'm not really allowed to have an opinion. So it's up to him. He decides, and he likes the system that he has.
Did you just compare Stern to Mubarak?
I did not say that at all. I don't even remember mentioning their names. No, I do not. I just said that David Stern does not want other people's opinions, and he does not tolerate something as he does not tolerate freedom of speech when it comes to NBA issues. He's the only opinion.